Hi, I'm Ben and I work in education at the National Library of Australia. As we begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we meet on today, and I thank their elders past, present and emerging for caring for this land that we're now privileged to call home. And I really like to think about the tradition of storytelling that's been going on this continent for tens of thousands of years when we do events like the one today. And that is National Simultaneous Storytime. So we're here to read a book, and every year the Australian Library and Information Association, ALIA, chooses a book that's read all over the country. And the book for this year is Whitney and Britney, Chicken Divas. And you might notice that we're actually not in the National Library of Australia's beautiful building on the shores of Lake Burley Griffin. We're on location today. We're here at in the Narragansett Garden at Woden Valley Childcare. And the reason we're here, apart from is that there's chickens everywhere, is that we've come here to meet our very special VIP storyteller, which is Gabby Millgate. Welcome, Gabby. Now, Gabby, grown-ups might recognise her. She's had a long career as a comedian and actor, and grown-ups might recognise her from her very famous role as Joni from Muriel's Wedding. But these days, Gabby is Miss Gabby, and she's the nature pedagogy leader here at Woden Valley Childcare, which means that she teaches kids about the environment, looking after the environment, looking after animals, as we can see, and gardening and that kind of stuff. She's also the author of the book, which is about keeping chickens in the early childhood environment. So what better person, we thought, to be our special guest reader today. We're going to ask her lots of questions about that and lots of other things in a little while, but simultaneous story time has to happen simultaneously. So we better get started and read the book. So I might hand over to Gabby now to read Whitney and Britney, Chicken Divas.
All right, is everybody ready? Let's begin. Whitney and Britney, Chicken Divas by Lucinda Gifford. Let's begin, shall we? Whitney and Britney are two gorgeous chooks, fluffy and silky, with stunning good looks. They live with the elegant Dora Von Doos. And from morning till night time, the chickens just snooze. Wake up, darling chickens, says Dora, perplexed. I want your sweet company, not just your eggs. But Whitney and Britney doze on, counting sheep. So what are they doing when Dora's asleep? Every night time the chooks leap to their feet. They hop over the fences and flap down the street. Down to Club Sparkles. They have to be fast. Come in, says Miss Razzle. You're on at past. And on go the sequins, tiaras and bling. The curtain goes up. And the chooks start to sing. And what a performance, the crowd's in a fever. It's Whitney and Britney, the great Chicken Divas. Back in their yard, with sore wings and tired legs, the kind chicken divas laid Dora 2 eggs. Oh, morning, says Dora, as she pops by the coop. But Whitney and Britney are utterly pooped. Dozing again, Dora says with a sigh. Then a gleaming pink sequin catches her eye. And what's this pink boa and this sparkly ring? And can that be glitter on Whitney's left wing? Dora's thinking, tonight I will snoop. So later that evening, she peeks in the coop. I knew it, thinks Dora. They're out having fun. I'm getting my glad rags. The night is still young. Yes. It's late at Club Sparkles, and in the front row, a secretive stranger is watching the show. And Whitney and Britney are taking the floor. They wow and they dazzle. The crowd claps for more. Such wonderful chooks, cheers the stranger. Whoopee! But who is this stranger? The crowd turns to see. It's Dora Van Doos, the famous performer. And Whitney and Britney see their dear Dora. They rush to embrace her, sobbing with wonder. And then, being divas, they sing a jazz number. Back, 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 back. Hurrah! Hurrah for the divas! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now Dora still lives with her two gorgeous chooks, fluffy and silky with stunning good looks. And during the day, they all snooze and rest. But once the night falls, they are Foxy and the Chickettes. Back, 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 back. Well, I just loved this story. Oh, look, they're still singing. Can't get them off stage. And that's the end of this story. Oh, good timing. Ducks.
Well, thanks so much for reading for us today, Gabby. I've just got a few questions for you, if that's okay. But I probably better put on my interviewer's hat. There we go. Excellent.
You look like an egghead.
That's kind of appropriate. So firstly, I was hoping if you could maybe just tell us a little bit about your job and what's your favourite part of it?
Well, I'm the nature pedagogy leader here, which means I teach with nature. So the children and I come into the Narragansett garden every day and we collect eggs, we dig in the compost, we give the chickens food and fresh water. We often have fires here in the Narragansett garden, so this time of year we're teaching children how to be safe around fires. Another thing that we do in this garden, which is part of embedding sustainable practice, is all the straw, the poop and the dirt gets turned into compost, which we use on gardens in our other centres, other parts of the centre. So we've got other gardens, so we've grown corn, Jerusalem artichokes, and we pick and eat from the garden. Basically, nothing makes it to the kitchen.
That's wonderful. I'm going to take this hat off because I'm about to lose it.
Yep.
But I think maybe the next thing to talk about is the chickens. So how many chickens do we actually have here?
Well, we've got 4 chickens, and we also have my own personal Whitney and Britney that I've
Actually called Whitney and Britney.
I've brought from home. They're silky chickens, like in the story. So they're in the story, you might remember they were called Fluffy and Silky. Well, this is my Whitney and Britney. They're black and they're white, and they're silky chickens. Yeah. So they lay smaller eggs than normal. We've got an Isa brown chicken, and she's the boss of all the animals here in the yard. We have a rooster who you would have heard during the story joining in. His name's Lord Cluckingham, and he's a lace Wyandotte. And we also have a couple of black Orpington chickens called the Bronwyns.
The Bronwyns, okay.
Yeah. And we've got ducks that we've hatched from eggs, so children saw them being hatched.
Excellent. And I wondered if there are any kind of diva-like behaviours in any of those chickens. You mentioned one maybe being the boss.
Yes, Squeaky, Squeaky, who is the brown the eyes are brown. She's the boss of all the animals here. So if she's coming through the garden, all of the animals get out of her way.
Wow.
She's definitely the boss.
Excellent. Now, next thing is, we mentioned that you've written a book. This is the book, which is about having chickens in places like this, in early childhood settings. I wondered, what's the best thing about having chickens in a childcare centre?
I think it's just being able to observe nature, to interact with nature, to get familiar with the behaviour of animals and understand that we need to take care of them, how to look after them, and also to be kind. We don't chase them like pigeons or seagulls at the beach.
Sure.
We treat them with respect, and that's starting very young, from a very young age, teaching rights and responsibilities to children. And they love having responsibilities. They love collecting the eggs, and they love spreading around the hay and being part of the embedding of the sustainable practices here that we do in the Narragansett Garden.
Excellent. And the book has so many amazing facts about chickens in it.
Yes.
I wondered, what's your kind of favourite, most fascinating chicken fact?
That chickens are distant relatives of the they're distant relatives of the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Really?
So they've got the same DNA as the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, they lay eggs and they've got scaly feet with claws on them.
Okay. And the other thing is, apart from looking after them, I wondered if you had some suggestions of some kind of fun chicken-related activities, maybe things that you might recommend for people to do with their families if they don't have chooks at home or that kind of thing.
Oh, if they don't have chooks at home, well, what I'd do is I'd get a copy of the book. Mm-hmm. It's also got online elements, and sort of decide how you're going to go about getting chooks for your yard or your centre. So, for example, something that the book teaches you is the sorts of chickens you can get. So Whitney and Britney here are silky chickens, and they've got feathery feet, so they won't wreck your garden. They're very little, so they're easy for children to hold. Or if you want really friendly chickens that are interested in interacting with you, but not necessarily for holding, but you want really good egg layers, you get Isa Browns or Australorps, which is an Australian chicken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's about all we've got time for today, but the other thing I would mention is that if you are looking for some chicken and Whitney and Britney Chicken Divas related activities, there's some really great stuff on the ALIA website. Or maybe you might just like to read Whitney and Britney again with someone special. So thanks so much for watching, and thanks for being with us today, Gabby.
Yeah, and thanks for coming to the Narragansett Garden.
It's been great. Bye.
Bye-bye.